10-15 minutes. So we are on to our second speaker, who is Ralph Mueller, who was born and raised in Leipzig, East Germany. Then East Germany, of course now Germany. When the wall came down, Ralph had an interesting story. He was 14 years old. He was born in 1975. And really his only information about Islam were stories that his uncle, who worked in the petrol industry or petroleum industry in Iraq and Syria, would come back with and tell him about stories about Islam. So after finishing his master's in mathematics and computer science, he, after working as a project manager with IT companies and so on, eventually he joined a PhD program here at Vanderbilt. And he's a student in structural biology and cheminformatics, which is exclusively working with computers and studying computer models when it comes to the sciences. In the lab, he has an interesting story where he meets Muslims from Malaysia. Now, I can assure you this information is true because I know a lot of Muslims from Malaysia. He found them to be very calm individuals. And so those of you who are from Malaysia, I think that's a compliment to all of you. And I had this experience as well with Malaysian students, very calm, very composed individual, and very polite, certainly. So their calmness impressed him. And although he was raised as an atheist, he came to the Islamic Awareness Week, an event similar to this in the past, and also began reading the Quran, just like we had from Nurdin, who started reading the Quran. And as he read the Quran in English, through the Muslim Student Association, through his friendship with Nurdin, who also shared a lot of teachings about Islam to him, he eventually became a Muslim in February of 2008, which is this year, last month, of course. So, he'll be telling us more about his journey to Islam, and I give you Ralph Mueller.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I really want to do this more like after Nuruddin covered the academic side. I think my story is a little bit more emotional, even if it starts out rather non-emotional, being raised in East Germany. And I don't know if many people in here can appreciate that, probably not, since it's like part of the evil empire in 1975. Yeah, it was really, you were not allowed to travel. They tried to make like their own state religion. They call it socialism. It had not really much to do with socialism. Yeah, and you couldn't travel, and the people who could travel to our country were also restricted. So we mostly had like Vietnamese people coming to our country to work there. So I really didn't meet Muslims in this time, but as was already mentioned, my uncle was one of the lucky persons who were allowed to go to like capitalist countries, supposedly capitalist countries like Iraq, and after it became like too hot in Iraq, since when they went to war with Iran, and so he moved on to Syria and he worked in the petrol industry. And so he told me like small stories about Ramadan and Zakat and such things, yeah, and how people handle with it, and that was like my only information until 1989 when the wall finally came down. And I think it was a big impact for many East Germans, since you need to understand it was like a system of beliefs. Yeah. Many people believed in socialism. I also believed in socialism. They told us that every brother and sister is equal. Yeah, everybody's equal. As we found out in 1989, that was not the case. There was differences like in every other country in the world. So it was a big disappointment. And it, me personally, it left me somehow empty. Yeah. I was raised an atheist, so I felt like, is this all here by chance? Yeah? Is this world made by chance? I was asking me this question since I was like a teenager. Yeah, can all this wonderful world, can this be here by chance, or is there